Ta-da! I think we're live. Yes, we are. We're talking here. Hello, everyone. I feel like a radio announcer now, or I'm at the horse track, and we're going down the horse track. But I better not be silly. I have to be serious today. And what I'm really stoked about is this beautiful new showroom. If anyone's there, is anyone there? Can you say hello?
Give us a thumbs up.
Says there's no one watching at the moment. Oh, there we go. If you could just give us a thumbs up so you can hear us. So we're at the beautiful new Winger Subaru Green Lane showroom.
Huge and beautiful.
And this is just like such a nice space. Just nice being here. And so you can wander around, look at all these nice brand new cars. And guess what? They've got beers in the fridge as well. Can you hear us, Injun? G'day, Injun, mate. Oh, thanks, Injun. Yeah, they've got beer in the fridge. So that's
Probably
always
too
good.
Early, mate.
Hey, it's Friday, isn't it?
Might be too early.
Yeah, but they just came to tell me now they're releasing the new Subaru Turbo Subaru Outback, which is really good for towing your boat. They've sold half of them and they're not even here yet.
Wow.
And the price of them is going up at the end of the year, thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you wanted to get one of these new Subaru Outback Turbos with increased towing power, make sure you get it by Christmas or end of the year because the price is going up quite a lot. So there's our little plug for Winger Subaru. But I reckon just hanging out here is pretty cool. And we can promise you that the salesmen here are really nice guys. They're not pushy. They're real relaxed. They give you a coffee. So if you're if you're looking for a new car or especially a Subaru, make sure you come and check these guys out. They're really nice guys. Hey, mate.
Absolutely, and we had a really great time in our Subarus last week, Paul. When we went down to the Coromandel and went to Angler's Lodge, and just had a fantastic time there. It was a good test of our current cars. They're new, but they're not the turbos. But even so, that's actually a pretty big boat of yours, mate. Yeah. It was quite interesting going along those twisty, turny little roads of the Coromandel. Bit of a challenge sometimes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Didn't want to meet a big truck on the way around, but it still pulled it along really well, I thought. So we had a great time there, and the main reason was because we needed to go and get a bunch of fish on our lures. So we took heaps of different ones. We went out, it was around, the Happy Jacks or something like that?
Yeah, we went around the Happy Jacks and about 30, 40 metres in between all the islands where the pilchards were holding on the first day. Yeah, and we went down there on a mission to get some photos of snapper and all our lures because we're starting to sell our lures into Australia. So if anyone's from Australia, welcome. Yeah. You can buy from the Ocean Angler website now and get them shipped to Australia, which is pretty cool. And we caught fish on all our lures. And what caught the biggest one, mate?
I'm pretty sure it was actually...
It was the jitterbug.
I'm pretty sure it was the old orange and gold jitterbug, mate. That got one about 5 kilos, I suppose.
So that was like, don't go past these jitterbugs in these workup seasons. Drag them out the back a bit, and they often get the biggest fish. You guys still using jitterbugs? Put your hands up if you're still using them. I just spoke to Robbie. I dialed the wrong number. I got Robbie, who fishes our jitterbugs on the phone. He said he's got a whole collection of them. He hangs them up in his garage and said, please don't stop. Please keep on making them. So, jitterbugs still the go, eh, mate? Yep. What about you, mate? What did you like fishing with?
Well, actually, what impressed me was that it just reinforced that we have a really good range, of different lures. Like, they all caught fish. I think it was only the weasel and I think it was the flea that didn't actually get real big fish on that day. And we actually had a whole nother day to go and do the job with just those two lures. So we had good solid fish with. We had the knife jig with big fish in it. We had the new, in fact, I really love these new sliders, mate.
Let me hold that for you, mate.
Yeah, just having the that black and orangey coloured head, and that sparkly super orange with the various tails on it. Those there just got absolutely slammed almost right away. But the thing was, we couldn't keep going with them because we had to just keep on turning it over. And of course the fish fingers like that and the pink and white, and also the black and pink was that got a decent one as well, as it quite often does. So as I say, I just went, wow, you have done a real good job, mate, of working out what different lures we can actually use out there,
Yeah.
offering different characteristics, but they all catch fish.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
no wonder, we've got great supporters like you guys out there
Yeah.
because they're just phenomenally effective.
Yeah, well, I actually went back to Coromandel, and I got back yesterday, and I went with a bit of an old timer guy,
Oh, yeah.
and he had all his bait gear. I'm going to use bait and all that. I said, "Oh, well, leave your bait behind, mate. Have a go on this." And he just loved it, mate. He caught.
cool.
He used a 140 gram orange slider. We were off Kennedy Bay in about 50 metres, and he was just catching one after the other. And I'm pretty sure he's converted now, eh? And he had it on a stray line rod.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
did
so he put it on a stray
Oh,
line
wow.
rod, just
Jeez.
dropping a big 140 gram
Wow.
slider down. He was slaying it, mate. So, just go heavy in these workups as well. 140 gram slider is a good weight to use in workups in 50 metres. Get down past the Kawai and stay on the bottom. They often get the bigger fish, these bigger size heads for some reason.
I've been banging on about those 140 gram ones, starting with those just for so long. But, the sales in the shops, I still see it's like 80 to 100.
Yeah.
And I go, how do those guys stay down on the bottom? And I just don't think they do.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd actually everyone catch a lot more fish
Yeah.
if they started with the 140s.
They would.
It's a really practical size. It just doesn't look as pretty as the 80s
Yeah.
and the 100s.
Yeah, they look so big. Well, there's one there. They look really big, but you'll find the charter boats that use our gear, they're pretty much using the 140s all the time. They just want to keep down on the bottom. You get less tangles, and you tend to get bigger fish for some reason.
And if it's not that, they're quite often going to the 180 coin drops or a 200 slider.
Yeah.
So, obviously if the wind picks up a little bit and maybe the current's going against the wind,
Yeah.
you've got to have something that's going to stay there. If it's not on the bottom, it's not catching fish. Sure, there's some
Right.
fish up off it,
Yeah.
but banging on the bottom, kicking up silt, all those vibrations and interesting noises, disturbances, it brings the snapper over to have a look, and they're not that smart. They'll just go and
no,
grab
the
it.
snapper aren't smart, and they bite. You actually see the bite marks on the head, so they must think the head's. I don't know what they think it is, but they certainly bite it.
Probably an octopus or something like that, I guess.
But the new black one, I'm starting to use that a lot more now. When you first look at it, you go, oh, it's not as good as orange, but it actually is working pretty good lately.
I'd say at least as good.
At least as good as the orange one. So make sure you have a go at the black one if you haven't already.
Yeah, and the other thing that I did was I was lucky enough to go to the Mocha Hen House with Josh Darby in his little 5 metre one. You obviously have to choose your weather when you're going out there, although we saw even 4 metre boats out there, so little 14-foot boats out at the Mokes. It was quite a surreal day, super calm. And I was able to go and test my Top Gun rod again.
Oh, nice.
And I can now say that I truly believe it's by far the best rod I've ever used.
It's a very good
for
rod,
it.
mate.
It's everything I hoped for.
Yeah.
Starting off with just catching a bunch of really nice snap. We didn't actually catch anything, unfortunately, over about 11 or 12 pound.
Yep.
But we did have, right at the end of the day, I hooked a very big kingfish.
Yeah.
And it gave me, it kept me in the game. Like I was able to
Right.
go and do a pretty good job with it. So even though it's super lightweight and feel, just the fact it's got the butt section grunted up.
Yeah.
So you've got
a
a lot more.
I think it's your best rod you've done so far, mate.
I mean, I learned from the last one. The only thing I felt was missing was just a bit more guts to the butt section.
Yep.
I really wanted to be able to say, come here, fish, rather than just have a reasonably good tool. But this one is like absolutely lethal.
Well,
I was able to really whack into it and put heaps of pressure.
Yeah.
And that's really come through to me. I've been showing a lot of the guys in the stores, just how what its performance is like.
Yeah.
And I've actually find it quite hard to hang onto the tip because they're able to exert a lot of pressure through it.
Yeah, that's
So
good. That's good.
And
that's what rod design is all about, mate. It's not like you're going to make one rod and you'll be happy with it for a while, and then you'll think of other things and you'll make another one. So your rod design is kind of a journey, and this is the next rod in your journey, mate.
Yep.
And she's a beauty, all right, and I can't wait to have a go of it myself.
Yeah, just very quickly, I won't spend too long. You got the rubber section here to go and stop the rod holder from going and taking damage around there and causing potential problems later on. Might even snap there. I still think that the microwave reel seat and foregrip configuration is the best I've ever seen. It was absolutely spot on. You just can't get anything more comfortable and better for fighting fish.
Yep.
And it breaks in the middle here. This graphite construction is just unbelievably light, mate.
So
but
light.
it's still gutsy.
Yep.
Pentalite guides because I found that the Fuji's tended to rust a little bit on the feet. So even though they're a good brand,
Are they titanium, those guys?
these ones here, I'm not. They're a pentalite.
Right.
It's an American tackle pentalite. So we're
Yeah.
giving these a go.
Yeah.
And there's another 6 inches on the end of the rod, over and above what the microwave has, so we
Yeah.
can cast a bit further, control
Yeah.
the line a bit better in the
Right.
air, set the hook a little bit better from further away. So it's all been pluses, you know. And
Yeah.
they're under $500. Like people are going to
Yeah.
have a bit of a variance in price.
Right.
But it should be they should be under $500.
$500 or something, yeah.
Between I'm not going to
Yeah.
say what it's between.
No, but
yeah.
around about 500. But how you liking the American Tackle Guide? So American Tackle's a, obviously American brand who make components and stuff. So we've kind of changed over to them because we found some of the other brands were rusting quite a bit. So that's why we've changed over. I'm pretty happy with them so far.
Yeah. Yep. No, I don't think you could. I just noticed on the microwaves that they always stayed in good shape for a long time. So that's why I thought I'd give these ones here a go.
So well done, mate. That's a really cool rod.
Thank you.
And for those guys who are into soft baiting, going for the big ones like Mark does in the shallows, it's going to be hard to find one better than this, especially for the price. It's it's not the cheapest rod, but it's not the most expensive rod. And value for money, she's a good bang for your buck.
There's soft bait rods out there that are $300 more, but I just can't see how they could be.
Yeah.
They couldn't be better. I just don't think.
Are you willing to say where to get them from, mate? Because I've had a lot of people asking where to get them from, and I don't like to say it because if I miss out a shop, they'll ring me up and say, "Why didn't you say my shop?" Yeah. So, can you? How's your memory, mate? You good for that?
I'm not going to do it because I'm just talking about the ones who I deal with directly. There's a lot of other guys who deal, through the our B2B system.
Right.
So all I know is that whenever I've gone into the shops, they've bought some. So I guess it's just my progress is going to be a reflection on just which ones have them.
Yeah.
So just give them a call first before you go in. But most of the bigger shops should have some.
Most of the bigger shops will have
I'd
some
say.
by now, yeah.
And of course, it's been very interesting as far as the temperature is concerned, Paul, because it's been fluctuating real close to that sort of late 17s, early 18s, which is normally when the snapper would be spawning.
There's so many,
But they're nowhere near it, are they? Like I haven't noticed.
I don't know. It's such a weird season, mate. Like I caught a snapper like a month ago that was fully rode up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this year I think we're into this kind of situation out in the middle grounds, which happens every now and then, where there's so many snapper and so much bait that they're not feeding every day. Like one of those examples is when we went down to the Happy Jacks. The first day we went, 2 o'clock, it sparked up, and there was just pilchards and snapper and birds and dolphins and everything was just going for it. The next day,
we struggled.
Like the fish were there. I could see them on the bottom, but they just didn't feed all day. So, I remember, I think I even wrote an article about it once, about a 2-day cycle. So, if you go out one day and it's slow and your mate was out the day before and it was hot fishing, just start thinking about this 2-day cycle for the peak of the workup season, which is about now. Because, man, there's a lot of bait out there. There's so much bait.
Sometimes I find it's just like a specific style and type of fishing that actually unlocks the key.
Yeah.
For example, that day, even though we didn't do very well and we only got a few legal fish, I think just about all of them were on our microbaits, mate.
Yeah.
Those ones were the only ones, and so our microbaits, and there were a couple of fleas as well.
Yeah.
No, the microbaits got some when we first started with.
when
we were doing it with Matt Hewitson.
That's right. Yeah.
First up.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's that. And I notice sometimes it's a colour too.
Yeah.
For example, the
Slim swims, man.
in the past,
Really
weird one. Really weird one for unlocking those spawning fish that are got lockjaw. The old sexy penny that can quite often be the one.
Yeah.
I noticed, and
that's become a real popular colour, mate.
Everyone's been talking about it. Like
this colour is one of our top selling colours now.
And like when I went up to do a bit of a seminar up in the far north, or actually in Whangarei. Was it Whangarei? No, Kerikeri. Went to hunting and fishing Kerikeri. And people coming up to me all the time, they're saying, nuked pilchard, mate. They're fantastic.
Yeah. Makes sense because they look like a pilchard, right?
Yeah. And so it's those. Also, of course, the fried bologna. These are the ones that are working for us at the moment. The Atomic Sunrise. Bruised banana. I can't tell how many big fish have been caught on those recently, mate. It's almost like a joke, I can never really fully understand what makes this so good.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like it should be, and yet people continue to get like so many snaps and some real beauties as well.
And I just want to give you a bit of applause there, mate, for you, because Mark actually came up with that name, Bruised Banana. years and years ago, and it's become popular overseas.
Yeah.
And now we see some real big brands kind of copying the name, mate.
Yeah.
So take that as a compliment, So some real massive, like Japanese brands, calling it banana something. And so well done, mate.
Yeah, no.
Like these people, big corporates, like using your name, mate. So that's pretty cool.
Even a blind bird finds a worm sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
But and that, of course, the old Laguna shrimp, it's still just been so good. And this is a new one.
Slam Shady, I like that one.
Actually, no, this is Beer Run, mate.
Oh, is it? Beer Run 5? I didn't even know we had those.
This is Beer Run.
Ooh, that's got to be good.
It was in the datas, which didn't go, the datas just didn't go too well for us for whatever reason.
That's got to be a good colour, mate.
It should have been great, but that one there,
Yeah.
Beer Run, I mean, even if you're just buying it for a guy because it says Beer Run, to me, it's all a matter of your lifestyle. Go and have a beer run. The other one last thing, the deal. Like I can't
I love that
like
colour too,
this
mate.
colour here, mate.
Such
For
a
whatever
good colour.
reason, has been selling really well in all the different stores recently.
Yeah.
And so that's one too which especially when the pilchards are around and sometimes the
it's a
big
beautiful
anchovies. I just noticed that it's just a solid seller, and it sort of caught me by surprise. I was just seeing it going, and so I think it's just a little silent sort of assassin. It's just been doing the job without us noticing.
Yeah. And for all those people who are using the microbaits, I bet you didn't know this, mate. Our second most popular soft bait now is a little tiny slim swim.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so that's
Which
our second. Oh, I mean, as far as shapes go, number one's jerk shad, number two slim swim.
Wow.
So there must be a lot of you guys starting to try the little baits, the freshwater guys, and also the snapper guys. I'm using them. Mate, I'll be using those like 75% of the time now.
Yeah.
Like I'm micro-baiting 75% of the time because it's just so much fun, mate.
We had Andre Kessel, who is known for his big fish. I mean, he's got big snapper, big kingies, but now he's been using the little microbaits
I've
as
seen
well.
him out there, mate.
And he's going to me, oh mate, I found this really nice sandy area, and it's just going to be so good for the light gear.
Yeah.
He says we've got to give it a go.
Yeah.
And so I go, oh yeah, okay. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to promote it much because we've got other things on and we've had a lot of wind.
Yeah.
So it's slowed us down a bit. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to put up with a bit more of it, probably live. I'd say we'll have a contest in the near future doing that because it is so much fun.
Yeah.
I know the slim swims are great, but I still like the
You like
TRD
your one,
minnows. Those ones are really great.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing to be happening right now is the kingies coming back in. So you're looking for any place that's got a bit of water pushing up onto reefs and headlands, navigation devices, all the stuff like that. Anything that interrupts water flow, basically.
Yeah.
And Andre said that he's been doing really well recently with the 230 Rapidos, the Maria Rapidos.
So Andre's one of our guys, and he's sponsored by Maria Stickbaits, and he's out there all the time testing and seeing what's working. So what he says is pretty much usually going to be right.
Yep, he's a great believer in trying lots of different styles of Marias because luckily they do have some very, very different shapes, with the duck dive and also the legato, which moves so differently to this.
Yes.
And so he's been doing well with that one, but the other one has been, and of course you can use the old squiddy type one, which I think would be perfect right now.
Yeah.
But these legatos have got to be the most foolproof and easy lures to use because they've got so that there will go, it flies to the back there, you've got a little weight that goes to the back here, makes it cast really, really well, and then it moves back up like it to a magnet to the middle there, and you've got the most amazing action. If it moves, it's actually diving down underneath the water, and so you can just sweep it with your rod, you can just crank it really fast, you can jerk it, you can do the usual pause and sweep, you can troll it. It's the most idiot-proof lure, and interestingly, I always vowed that I'd go and use this, and we are starting to use them now and finding that they work super well.
The clear ones.
This one here, which looks like it should be a display thing and showing just how the whole system works and how you've got an integral wire going right the way through.
Yeah.
It's actually it actually shows up super well in the water. I didn't think it would. It's got a really nice pearlescent colouring on it and UV reflection on it. And they're getting some really nice kingies on these too. So,
well, I remember, mate, when the Japanese pros came over and we had a meeting with them, and we didn't really think anything of this, and they go, no, you must use this one, this one. So if you haven't had a go of this one, it's kind of see-through, and you're a stick baiter, make sure you do, because we didn't think it was going to work either, but it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What else? Fishing this weekend. Got a bit of
tricky,
easterlies coming. I think there's one window on Sunday to get out there, so make advantage of it. But a good strategy in these easterlies, which I've been doing, is going over to Coromandel, going round and getting in the shelter over there on the western side of the Coromandel Ranges, around Amodio Bay, all around there. It can be pretty calm still in decent easterlies. So if we're going to have a few easterlies this year, I would start thinking about fishing over there. That's what I've done, and I'm thoroughly enjoying fishing over there. It's not too far away. It takes you about 2 hours 45 minutes to get there. So it's certainly not by road. So not too far to go to get out of the wind. And I was driving up there 2 days ago, and there was workups right from probably halfway between Thames and Coromandel, all the way up to Coromandel. There was just gannets everywhere, really deep down in the Firth. Past the mussel farms, further south than the mussel farms, there was just fish and gannets all over the show. And then I fished off Kennedy Bay as well, and there was just acres and acres of gannets and dolphins out there too.
I think one other option for people is, especially Aucklanders who want to have a sheltered spot this weekend, especially if it's an easterly. It's better in a northerly, but you could actually go in the upper harbour. Yeah. I've had some reports that the snapper have moved in.
This is the time of year, mate.
And it was to be honest, it was a bit rubbish last year, but it's looking a lot more promising this year. Yeah. And so give that a go. The upper harbour there could be up around sort of Greenhithe and Te Atatu, around your area, mate.
Yeah, especially with your micro baits,
Micro baits, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah. So so fishing, few eastleys, I think one weather window, but start thinking about getting in the shelter and fishing micro baits in close. It's lots of fun, I'll tell you.
Yep. Yeah. I think with there's a pretty good possibility we'll see a bit of wind again this season. So we've got to make the most of our windows, and we've got to make the most of perhaps lee shores. And this may mean that we are utilising different techniques such as our micro baits or soft baiting or our micro jigs and that sort of thing. So you're just making the most of local, not spending too much money on gas, that type of thing. And things are changing, so you just got to adapt.
All right. Well, I think we're just about done now. And anything else you want to say, mate?
No, I just think that be ready if you can. Just be ready to take advantage of windows and days, because you never know what's around the corner. And fishing's an amazing sport, and it's the perfect time for snapper and kingfish right now. Yeah. So just take advantage of it. Try and get a good feed of fish, and if you use our lures, you're going to get a decent feed.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks, mate, and thanks to Winga Subaru once again. There's a guy who asked how long your fishing rod is. How long is it, mate?
It's 8'6".
8'6", so really long. And another guy asking if there's free coffee here. Yes, there is free coffee. So I'd highly recommend, if you're in the market for a new car to tow your boat, come and chat to the guys down here. They will look after you, especially if you say you're an ocean angler person, angler fan. You say you're an ocean angler fan, and they will look after you really well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, see you later, people. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, and Ocean Angler signing out.